Hello and welcome to May's Crochet. I am Rachel and we are going to get back to finishing up Christmas presents this week. But first, before I continue making them, let me show you some other things that I've made because I got to get them shipped out to the rest of the family. So we're going to start with that and then we'll get into actually making more stuff. So these are the gifts for our nieces. This is for our oldest niece. I actually worked on this on my ghost face, finishing that gigantic like 4-foot tall ghost face that I did at the end of October. This was the very last of that very chunky yarn I had, and didn't want to throw it away, but I was just ready to get it out of my stash, and I didn't need it anymore. So, I mean, it looks ghost-like, right? I mean, kind of, maybe, in a little bit if you squint. So this is for our niece who was born this summer. For all of our nieces and nephews, they've gotten one of these stuffies that's their first initial. So yeah, both of these got done before Thanksgiving. A few years ago, I found some little amigurumi kits, one for Winnie the Pooh, one for Peanuts. It's my mother-in-law's favorite and my father-in-law's favorite. And this is the 5th year I've made them one of the characters in these books. So for my mother-in-law, I did Rabbit. She's already gotten Pooh and Piglet and Tigger and Eeyore. And so we move on to the grumpy rabbit who really just wants to have a nice garden. That's understandable. But these arms keep sticking out. This is not my favorite book because all of it is just made in separate pieces and it's a lot of sewing and it gets a little frustrating. Of course, these are not things I knew before buying the kit. I want it to be as much in one piece as possible and I do try to condense it when I can, but this just wasn't one of those times, mainly because of these legs, how they stick out. They don't look even, but they're not. They're off maybe slightly, but that's okay. I've fought with it enough. Anyway, here's Rabbit. And then for my father-in-law, I made Sally, Charlie Brown's annoying little sister. So far I've made Charlie, Snoopy, Lucy, and Linus. So now it was Sally's turn. And this one, again, it all comes in pieces, but it is easier to kind of change the pattern and make more of it one piece. So the little legs twisted out, but we can fix that. So I even got the little swoops in her hair. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to because hair is my biggest problem in making like humanoid dolls. I struggle with it so much, and the pattern wasn't very understandable. And another problem that I have with this book, other than almost all of the patterns coming in pieces that you sew together, just like this one, there's like 4 or 5 different pattern writers in this book. This is all one, but there's multiple in this one, and sometimes they don't always share techniques. I think all the patterns are made for the dolls to be the same size, but at the same time, sometimes the things they write don't make any sense to me. So especially when it came to the hair, I kind of did my own thing. But I was going to ship it without the swoops on the side, but I thought about it some more this morning. I'm like, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. So here's Sally. And here are those ceramic bowls I ran out to paint last Tuesday. I picked them up today. They look fantastic, if I do say so myself. Wish I could have had a darker shade of red, something closer to that, but it's just like 1 or 2 shades off. Worked with what I had. Anyway, I think they look great and I can't wait to ship them out tomorrow, and I hope they make it to their destination in one piece. That's my next concern. And that's it for everything that needs to get shipped out, which will be first thing tomorrow morning, assuming I get everything wrapped tonight. Probably not gonna make it in time for Christmas. I've had to accept that fact. I'll get over it. But now it's time to work on stuff for the people in my house. But we will be getting back to crochet for the time being because everything I'm making for the girls will be crochet. I'm making them each 2 gifts. And let's get that started. Okay, fun fact, it's been a day since I recorded the intro. I lost track of time, wasn't paying attention, and I realized it was time to take the girls to dance. And when, we got home and everything was done and dinner, I thought it would behoove me more to wrap those presents that I showed, plus the bowl cozies and the bowls that I showed last week, and actually ship them to the recipients today, because today is a week from Christmas. So I spent a lot of time doing that. Now we're getting back to the video and finishing up or starting gifts for my kids. So I'm going to start one thing but not get very far on purpose because I'm doing the Chronicles of Yarnia Crochet Knit Circle tonight at the library, and I would rather get this started now and then just take it with me because sometimes the starting is very frustrating and then I'm not super social because I'm sitting there trying to figure things out. And it's actually really simple. I'm just doing a granny hexie cardi for my youngest. She normally has ideas for me to make her something for Christmas, but like an AMI project or something, but she didn't give me anything this year. So this is a first. I'm actually making clothing for someone else. I never do this, never. But I think she would like this. Black and pink and gray, I think it'll be cute. She really loves her cardigans, her sweaters, her hoodies every day this time of year, so I thought she could use a new cardigan. So I'm gonna start it. I'm gonna work on both sides at the same time, probably every 2 or 3 rounds, going back and forth. I'm gonna get it started for the first couple of rounds because I always have trouble with that part, because it's also squinched up that it's hard to see if I'm going into the right space or if I have enough. So I want to get it past like the 2nd or 3rd round, and then I'll put it in my bag and I'll take it with me later tonight when I go. And then I'll start on something else. So I'm gonna try to stand up and do this because I need to work on actually standing more instead of sitting. We'll see how long this lasts. I am using I Love This yarn in Surprise Stripe, which is a terrible name for this color. I feel like there's so many other things that this could be. And a 6mm hook. I do all of my hexacardies in 6mm. For most 4-weight yarns, if they're slightly on the skinnier side of a 4-weight, or if they're anything less, then I will use a 5, maybe. Yeah, and I've done chunky yarn before, like a 6-weight with like an 8mm hook, and they are unpleasant. They're too bulky, in my opinion. Like, if you like them, great. But for me, I've made like 2, I think, and they were not great to work with, and I ended up not liking them. Three rounds in. I'm gonna go take care of something, and then I'll come back and start on the second one. And I don't mean like tomorrow, I mean like in 10 minutes. I'm not gonna like have a whole costume change and everything else in between, I hope. Both sides are started. They are now going in my travel bag to go to the library in an hour, 2 hours, what time is it? In an hour and a half. So that is good to go. Okay, so when I was making our newest niece's R pillow that I showed at the beginning of this, I was thinking, or I realized, hey, I've actually never made these for my own children. I've made them for the other kids in the family, but not my own kids. So we're gonna be doing that. So this is a pattern by 3am Grace Designs. She's on Etsy. I don't know about Ravelry, but she has the entire alphabet, uppercase, lowercase. She has numbers, and even some punctuation, and she has a state series, which last time I checked has like 40 states in it. And I just came across her one day when I was looking for like crochet letters. And what really got me about the state series was at the time she only had like 5 states, and West Virginia was one of them, and everybody forgets about West Virginia. So it absolutely grabbed my attention that 20% of her state series was West Virginia. So I've used her patterns for several letters a few times. Again, letters for all the kids in the family except for my own. So we're gonna get started with that one today. And my youngest, will start with hers. She is the letter Z. And I'm gonna use this velvet yarn bee in blush for hers. This will probably take like 2 skeins. Surprisingly, they don't even take up that much, but I am using the thicker yarn, so I'm going with a 6.5mm hook. Okay, I felt like sitting and I didn't feel like moving my tripod up or down, so I'm just angling the camera down at my face, and I'm gonna work on this some more. I did go ahead and start the foundation chain, and I like to work in the back bump for that, and doing that with velvet yarn is a little frustrating. So I didn't film that part because nobody needs to see me struggle like that, but I'm gonna keep working on this until I have to take kid 2 to dance. I didn't forget tonight, but let's see how far I can get in the next like 20 minutes. Okay, I just got a knock on the door. It is time for dance. I got the first 9 rows done, which is the goal I had, because this is the bottom, and then the decreases and increases start to make the diagonal. So I will continue this when I get home later tonight. To be continued. Hi, yes, it is the next day, as a matter of fact. You guessed right. I did come home last night around 9 after the social circle and picking up the youngest from dance. And then I realized I had to put in my grocery order for this morning, and it's a big one because Christmas is next week. We've got baking and sides and stuff that we don't normally do. So, I mean, my husband takes care of the turkey, which he already bought, and I do everything else. So that took a while because I had to run around the house and see what ingredients I did have and what I don't have, because I don't bake that much. In fact, this is pretty much one of the only times of the year I do bake, and it's still not that much. So that took a while, and once it was done, I was ready for bed. I did get a few more rows added to the Z as we started increasing and decreasing on the diagonal. So that was great. Now at the social circle, I did get up to 8 rows on both sides, and I am pretty proud of that. That was an hour and a half straight of not checking my phone, not getting distracted by something on my computer, just sitting around and talking. It was very lovely. It was the biggest group. I mean, I've only been twice, now 3 times, but it was a really large group for the very last one of the year, and people brought snacks. I felt bad that I didn't bring snacks, so I didn't eat many of the snacks, plus I was gonna pick up dinner afterwards. Anyway, it doesn't matter, because now I have to go and pick up my oldest from the high school and take her to her orthodontist appointment, where I will just continue this, because it's just simple. Hopefully it's gonna be a short appointment, but right before the holidays, you never know. And I really do plan on getting this knocked out today, but we have a Christmas party tonight, so I don't know if that's gonna happen. I do have a couple of hours after the orthodontist appointment when I come home that I can work on it, and then after the party, because the party will be done at 9. It's Thursday night, it's not gonna go long. It's a work thing. Hopefully I'll get it done today, and then tomorrow we can do the M for daughter number 1. Wish me luck. I hate that I am this distracted by everything all the time, but that is just the way it works sometimes. Anyway, bye! So at the orthodontist office, I worked on one side of the sweater just a little bit, and I got 2 full rounds done, plus one side and onto the second side of round 11. A little bit of progress. We were there longer than I wished, but that's okay. I understand it is very close to the holidays, so they're probably trying to squeeze as many people in as possible. I need to start getting ready for the Christmas party in like 20 minutes. I have about 20 minutes is what I'm saying. So I'm gonna see how much of this I can get knocked out. I will be home at a decent time, and I will try to film tonight, because I have a real problem with not filming at night. I don't know why, unless I'm just in a mad dash to do something. Anyway, see how much of this letter Z I can get done tonight. I can't believe I haven't gotten anything like substantially done. This video is gonna be late, I already know. That's okay. Made it up to the top. A little messy, especially right here where I went from the chain to the other stitches, but it'll be fine. She won't care. Probably. So I'm gonna take a break, and I have to go get ready for a party, and hopefully I will get this part finished tonight. And it goes by so quickly, maybe I can get the other half finished too and have one whole project done tonight. But I'm not making promises, because it is me. So I will either see you after the party, or I will see you tomorrow. I'm back. Can you believe it? Same night and everything. It's a fun party. It's very adult, grown up, sitting around, eating finger foods, drinking and chatting mostly, but it was a good time. But we're gonna finish up this front half of the letter Z. So we got 1. It's kind of hard to, it'll make sense. It'll work, I promise, I promise. Let's make a back half, or front half, depending on which way I go. You saw me do the first one, I'll be back. Proof I can get something done in one sitting. Okay, well, like the whole thing's not done in one sitting, but this side I got done in one sitting. Like, I can do it. I just freaking concentrate. But it is late, it is very late now. And so I left the yarn attached on this one, and then tomorrow I will single crochet around and stuff and make a nice little cuddler, amigurumi, whatever, pillow, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But see, I can do it. I just don't most of the time. Good morning, happy Friday. The kids are going to be out 2 hours early today, so I'm going to see what I can get done before then. Not a lot, I bet, but this morning while I was having breakfast and just hanging out, I worked on the sweater some more, and I've got 12 on this side through my first skein, and then I'm up to 10 on this one, almost done with the first skein for that side. And I'm going to try to measure it up to this, which I also got her some store-bought clothes for Christmas, so I think I'm gonna try to match that. And I'm gonna do some ribbing around, so that'll add a couple of inches, but I think we're at 12. I'm thinking maybe 15 rounds will be good. It won't be a very long sweater, but I think it'll be nice and big and cozy. So that's what I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna work on this later because right now I've got to get to the letter M. So that's what I got to get. Like, I'm not even gonna start. I'm doing it today. I'm doing both today. The Z parts are still over here. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do both parts of the M, and then I will just simultaneously work on them to sew them up and stuff them later, so I don't have stuffing lying around while I'm not using it. It's complicated, so I have a box outside. Somebody sent me food. Sorry, I got distracted. I forgot that somebody delivered something earlier. Anyway, we're making the letter M right now. I better go get the food. We're making the letter M, and it actually have to work it in 4 separate parts, and it's a lot. So I'm also now realizing that this dark purple might be harder to see the back bumps when I'm doing the chain, but it's her favorite color. Like, you know, I'm gonna make it in her favorite color. It was a Harry and David's tower from my uncle. Yeah, when you live far away, people like to send you food. We got another one from my husband's grandparents yesterday. So I don't bake a lot at Christmas anymore. Not that I ever did a lot, but it's like we get so much food from everybody else, there's almost no point. But I do sugar cookies because if I'm not eating sugar cookie dough, it ain't Christmas. All right, we are up to here, the first leg of the M, and then we'll start working our way down here, and then back up, and then back down. So part 1 is done. Time to move on to part 2, but also time to pick up my kids early from school. Part 2 is done. So now we start here and work our way up for part 3, and then back down for part 4. It's a long one. Oh, I should say that. All right, so part 3 is done. Ugh, God, some shit's like crazy. Now onto the final part, which is simply coming back down. Pretty simple. I think it's like 10 stitches across for a few rows, like a lot of rows, like most of the height of the thing, but that's okay. It's just back and forth. There's no increasing, decreasing, chaining, and going in the back bump. None of that. No. We're keeping it pretty simple. Okay, the first side is done. I'm gonna leave it attached to the skein for later. It's massive. So I will take a break and then I'll get on to the other part, the second one. I'll do all of this again. You know how this works. You've been here. One more letter M. I think that's gonna be it for the night. It's late, but I can power through. I can do it. Everybody's in bed and I can get through making this side, but I'm not gonna get the letters put together and stuffed today. That is gonna be a tomorrow job. And just like that, I have 2. Hi, hello. It is the next day. It is actually night of the next day. So I finished the letter gifts yesterday and I've pretty much just been working on daughter number 2's sweater all day in between doing laundry. So I did 14 rounds on both sides and I thought that was pretty good. I don't want the sleeves being too big, you know, that's kind of frustrating. That's kind of where I decide when to stop. 14 rounds, and then I did 3 rows for what will end up meeting in the back right here. So now all I have to do is the seams to make the shoulders, and then I will continue the sleeves out pretty far. This is a larger sweatshirt because she is in a growth spurt right now. And so that's why I'm kind of measuring the sweater against that, because I don't want her to not be able to wear this in like 6 months or through this winter and be done. So she's almost as tall as her sister, who's 4 years older than her, who is shorter, on the shorter side. She's only 5'1" and she's done growing. She's tapped out, but this one's gonna probably grow for a little bit longer. So yeah, it's Sunday night. This is taking way longer than I anticipated, but that's okay, because I still have one more once I'm done with this, or while working on this, that I want to make for daughter number 1, because I'm gonna make them each 2 gifts. So just keep swimming. Those sleeves took forever. I always forget how long it takes to just go round and round and round for multiple rounds. The audacity I had to think that this was not going to take very long because she's smaller. No, this has taken up so much time. But all I have left are the cuffs on the sleeve and the ribbing around here, and that doesn't take as long as I think it does. So I'm gonna need some lunch. I'm gonna move on to another project, and then I will finish this one later, I gotta walk away from this yarn right now. Okay, sweater is on break, or I'm on break from the sweater. I have eaten lunch, I have walked the dog in the cold, and run into far too many neighbors for my liking, because I am wearing pajamas, but whatever, it's Christmas Eve. But I'm gonna start on the final gift, because I gotta get this knocked out. So, it's gonna get weird, but hear me out. So at the end of summer, Walmart had several of these Amy kits by Red Heart, and I grabbed one, and it's what sparked my decision to do the Woobles kit comparison. I was going to use this at first, but then I decided to keep it like dino friendly since I did the dinosaur Woobles kit. But I decided to hold on to this, and I'm glad I did, because about 7 years ago, when my oldest was in 3rd-ish grade, she's going to be 16 next week, but she drew a picture of this creature she envisioned called Evil Bunky. It's a white bunny with a snake for a tail. The bunny throws bombs and the snake steals things, and it's been a running family joke for years, and I have decided to create a 3D version of it. Let me show you my inspiration. Yeah, that's what we're working with. For reasons I hope you understand, I will take artistic license and not make a brown snake, considering where it is placed. I just, you know, it doesn't look great. So other than that, I have to add a bomb, give it red eyes, red ears, inner ears, make a little ball. So yeah, hopefully we can turn this into this afternoon. She's gonna hate it, but I think it's funny. So let us crack this sucker open. I guess this is technically kind of a review for this as well. This was $10, I think, at the time. I only saw them that one time. It's funny because when I got it, you really didn't see Amy kits out in the wild. It was very few. Now they're everywhere. All of a sudden, just a few short months later, I mean, even Walmart has Woobles kits, like in the kids crafting section, and I think Michael's has some. I know Joann's has Woobles kits. Hobby Lobby, they all have their own little versions of kits these days. So things have changed very quickly. Anyway, I was very surprised when I saw this one, and that's what, you know, gave me the jumping off point to do that other video. Oh, it's only 28 rounds, head and body. Hell yes. Sorry, you know how much I hate sewing pieces together. All right, so this is Coates & Clark. What is this? We have a 3mm hook. Is this a 1? Why would you give a 3mm hook for yarn that says it's 2.5 millimeters? It says it's cotton. I don't know about this. I don't think I want this. This says a 2.5mm hook on here, but they sent a 3. I think I'm gonna go down to 2.5. Cool. All right, so I don't have a 2.5 in it. This is my Clover & More hook set. I don't have a 2.5 in it, but I've got a 2 1/4, so I'll go with that. It'll be fine. Anyway, this set just comes with this yarn, this hook that I'm not using, a little bit of stuffing, and then embroidery thread, needle, and a stitch marker. But I'm just gonna use my own stuff. All right. This it's not gonna work. This is not good. Look at that. I'm not sure if you can see, but look at that. It's just splitting like crazy. I can't get through a project like this, so I'm not using this. I'm gonna put it over to the side. I am just gonna use good old acrylic and my 3.5mm hook. Okay, so far I am using none of the things in this kit except for this. I still have the polyfill, but I'll probably need more than that since it's gonna be bigger. The yarn's thicker, the hook is bigger. I typically do amigurumi in 3.5 with a 3.5mm hook and a 4-weight yarn, and this is not going to be any different. So I'll follow the pattern at least. Found my safety eyes. I do have some red ones because she did make it evil with red eyes. And I got a nice little red nose too. Even though it's a side view and there's no red nose, I'm gonna use it anyway. All right, we are now 12 minutes into this portion of me filming, and I am just now finishing the magic ring. So that's great. I love that for me. Oh, look at my yarn splitting. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I'm just gonna make all the pieces. It's just a pretty standard Ami set where it's all a bunch of pieces, and I will come back when I need to start making my creative changes. Okay, I am tired. It is almost 2 o'clock in the morning on Christmas Eve, but I have got most of this evil funky bunny snake hybrid made. I think it's pretty close. Yeah, so far the eyebrows really pulled it together in the little mouth. Before those, he looked adorable. Very different than the pattern he came with, but I also didn't use any of those materials except for the stuffing. The stuffing was nice. It was polyester. It was polyfill, but it had a very different feeling than that bag of stuff. It was very silky and smooth. I liked it. But I've got to go to bed. I still have to finish the sweater tomorrow, later today, and get snake tail. Let's see, what do we have? We have a snake tail, or a snake for a tail, and a ball, and a little fireball. And then he'll be done, but mostly there. It's really cute. I'm pretty proud. Okay, so I really didn't want to have it come down to like the last minute on Christmas Eve because it happens every single year. But here we are. I'll probably be up very late tomorrow night, later tonight. So yeah, I feel behind, but I always am. Okay, we're getting back to this guy. Only a couple of things to add, then have to finish the sweater that's over there, and then I'll be done, except for making lunch for tomorrow. We're not thinking about that right now. It is 11:04 on Christmas Eve. I've got this. We're good. So I've decided on yellow for the snake because, again, not brown. So I'm going to make that, and I'm going to stuff it with some wire so it can be adjustable, movable, bendy. You get it. A little frazzled right now. And I'm going to watch as much Love Actually as I can.
Fathers and sons, mothers and daughters, husbands and wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, old friends. This is shit, isn't it? Yo, solid gold shit, Maestro.
Welcome, Prime Minister.
Whoa. What's my online wave?
Same.
No way.
What do you think?
I think it's crap. Got it. I said over my dead body. And she said, no, Daniel, over mine. And as usual, my darling girl, Sam's darling mom was right.
Do you think everybody knows?
Yes.
Do you think Carl knows?
Yes.
I'm kidding. She was rubbish.
Okay, here's one. How do you think the new record compares to your old
Good now.
classic
You okay?
stuff?
Well, Ricky,
Feel
you know
better?
as well as I do, the record's crap. But wouldn't it be great if number one
I made it yellow
Christmas
instead of
wasn't
brown
some
because I didn't want it to look like
teenager,
poop.
but an old ex-hero come back at any price. All those younger. If you really love Christmas, come on and let it snow. Ouch.
As gay as a picnic basket.
How gay are picnic baskets?
out in the
Yes! For a fantastic place called Wisconsin.
People hate sissies. No one's even gonna shake you if you cry all the time.
I fixed it. I thought it would be something worse.
Worse than the trouble agony of being in love.
I will be prepared to be much stronger. And the president should be prepared for that.
What did I do? I made a papier-mâché lobster head. The chubby girl.
Who would we call her chum?
We need Kate. And we need Leo. And we need them now.
They don't play musical instrument.
Yes, sir.
Tiny, insignificant detail.
So I'm just gonna glue these pieces on because I think it'd be easier, and then I'll trim up the flames and this guy will be done. Are you kidding me? I love it so much. I don't even want to give it to her. It's so funny. Oh, it's so unserious. Oh my gosh. So let's review. Here's the inspo. The only difference is that the snake is yellow instead of brown, so it doesn't look like poop. But otherwise, yeah, I'm pretty proud. I don't know if she's gonna like it. I am gonna include this in the bag with this so she knows what the hell I'm talking about. Also, forgot to mention, it's very timely because her studio does a recital in spring, and the middle section, the middle act, is all ballet, and it's usually connected. Last year they did Peter Pan, and this year they're doing Alice in Wonderland, and she was cast as the White Rabbit last week. So, I mean, come on, like, it all works. As far as this amigurumi kit by Red Heart, I didn't use a single thing in it except for the pattern, which I could have gotten that anywhere online for far cheaper. This was $10. The whole kit was $10. Everything in it sucked. So don't buy those if you come across them in the wild. I love this. I love this so much. All right, so I still have to finish the sweater. I'm over halfway done with the ribbing on the front. The sleeves are done. The cuffs on the sleeves are done. I don't know how much longer. I'm hoping by the time I finish Love Actually in an hour, and that'll be it. I'll get to go to bed. Maybe at a decent time. I don't know. Fun fact, I think the worst I ever did was 2020. Well, you know, it's 2020, but that was the year that I started making a doll replica of my girls for recital in one of their costumes, and that was their second year of dance. So I didn't do it for the first year. So I'm like, after I finished that first one, I'm like, well, that wasn't too hard. Maybe I'll continue doing it every year. And so for Christmas, I retroactively made the first year, so they could start the collection and have all the years that they've been in dance. Well, it got to be late, like 2 a.m. and I still had one more arm to finish for my older daughter's doll and sew them both on, and I just knew there was no way I could stay up and do it. So I gave her an armless doll replica of herself for Christmas. I always feel kind of guilty about that. But this is awesome. I love this. Is one of my favorite things I've made in a very, very long time. Anyway, let's finish a sweater. It is 12:30 in the morning on Christmas Day. Merry Christmas.
Nurses are trying to kill me.
Nobody's trying to kill you, babe.
This is so much more than a bag.
Oh, but you always love scarves.
Yeah, back broken. Too much sex. No, I'm on Shag Highway, heading west. America, watch out! Here comes Colin Bristle, and he's got a big knob.
We all want to have sex in every room, including yours.
Oh, Jesus, not that crap again! Man's gotta do what a man's gotta do.
Jamie, I hate Uncle Jake. I hate Uncle Jake.
That's my favorite part.
About Christmas.
You realised it was all around.
Would you stay, knowing life would always be a little bit worse? Or would you cut and run?
Don't be such an arse.
It's done. I really wish I'd made something else, smaller, quicker. But what's done is done. That is it for me making Christmas presents. I have to wrap these last 4, and it's only 1:30 a.m. Great, love that for me. But if you celebrate Christmas, I hope it was very merry. If you don't, if you celebrate something else, I hope that was awesome as well. And if you don't celebrate anything this time of year, I hope you had a great Wednesday and rest of the season. And everybody have a great new year. I will be back the first weekend of January, which will be next weekend at this point, just to do kind of a 2024 wrap up, everything I made this year. And I will finish the book blanket, I promise. Eventually. I hope to finish it this week. I hope to actually finish it before the end of the year. But the video where I review and make the actual squares will not be out at least until the second weekend of January, because it is a lot of editing that goes into that with the voiceovers and the footage and everything. So it'll be a while till you actually see me finish it, but hopefully next week when I'm talking about everything I made this year, I will have a final product. I don't know, I'm gonna have to really buckle down the next few days. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Oh, I hate it took this long. Maybe I'll be better prepared next year. Start earlier, not drag my feet. We'll see. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube things if I haven't said it yet. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!
Are you not going to let me crochet anymore today?